February 2026. The world holds its breath as two nations stand on the precipice of full scale war. The United States and Iran, once close allies, are now close to open conflict than at any point in the last 40 years. Threats fly daily from Washington and Tehran. An American armada sails towards the region. Iranian forces are on full defensive and combat readiness. How did we get here? This is the story of how the US and Iran, through decades of mutual hostility and cynical policy, have brought themselves to the brink of disaster. To understand the hatred of today, we must first go back to 1953. At that time, Iran's democratically elected Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh made a decision that enraged the West. He nationalized Iran's oil industry, taking it from the British-owned Anglo-Iranian Oil Company. The United States, fearing Cold War Soviet influence and eager to protect Western corporate interests, stepped in. In a covert CIA operation codenamed Operation Ajax, the US engineered a coup, overthrowing Mossadegh and reinstalling the monarch Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi as an absolute ruler. For the next 26 years, the Shah ruled as a staunch US ally, purchasing billions in American weapons and modernizing the country along secular Western lines. But this progress was built on the foundation of secret police, torture, and brutal repression of dissent. Washington focused on its strategic interests, celebrated the Shah as a beacon of stability, turning a blind eye to the domestic tyranny he imposed on his people. This all came crashing down in 1979, the Iranian Revolution, a popular uprising against the Shah's dictatorship and the foreign powers that propped him up, swept the Ayatollah Khomeini to power. The United States, having lost its man in Tehran, was recast as the Great Satan, a force of imperial corruption. When the ousted Shah was admitted to the US for medical treatment, the fury boiled over. Iranian students stormed the US embassy, taking 52 Americans hostage for 444 days. It was a humiliating crisis for America, and it cemented an image of Iran as an irrational, terrorist-sponsoring enemy. From that point on, the narrative was set in stones on both sides. The decades that followed were a series of shadow wars, proxy battles, broken opportunities. The 2015 nuclear deal, the JCPOA, or Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, was one such opportunity, a moment where diplomacy threatened to de-escalate tensions. But the fragile hope was shattered in 2018 when the United States, under President Donald Trump, unilaterally withdrew from the deal. In its place, Washington launched a policy of maximum pressure, a campaign of crippling economic sanctions designed to choke Iran's economy to submission. But if United States policy had been ruthlessly pragmatic, Iran's leadership has proven to be a master of exploiting its own people's suffering for political gain. For years, Washington operated on the assumption that Tehran was a rational actor that could be bargained with. A critical analysis, however, suggests this was a profound misreading. Iran's leadership does not see negotiation as a path to reconciliation, but as a tactic, a tool to reinforce its legitimacy and prolong its grip on power. Diplomatic overturns like these, seen in the late January of 2026, are not signs of moderation but maneuvers to buy time, divide the international community, and relieve pressure without making meaningful concessions. When protests erupt in Iran, as they did over economic collapse in late 2025, the regime is quick to blame foreign incitement from the US and Israel, while Washington cynically tries to harness this dissent for its own strategic goals. Tehran cynically uses the threat of foreign interference to violently crush the same dissent, labeling all protesters as foreign backed rioters and terrorists. In the game, the voices of the Iranian people are silenced by both sides. As February 2026 draws to a close, the world watches two powers posture and threaten. The United States insists it wants a deal, even as it sends another carrier group and imposes new sanctions. Iran insists it does not seek war, and even as its military conduct drills and leaders blame every internal problem on foreign enemies.